Okay, good morning, class. Today we will talk about the nature of criminology. Now, generally, criminology cannot be considered a science because it has not yet acquired universal validity and acceptance. Now, what does this mean? Sabot pa sabot niya ni. If you say universal validity and acceptance, it means nga across the globe, regardless na ka sa Europe, regardless na ka sa America, regardless na ka sa Pilipinas, no? Bisag unsa nga term, it means the same thing. Like for instance, in biology. In biology, if they talk about photosynthesis, ang photosynthesis sa Pilipinas, sa Europe, sa America, parihara na. No, this is the process where the food or where the plant develops its food, no, or make its food. So the process is there. But in criminology is different. Nga naman, remember in the definition nato, criminology deals with the study of crimes and criminals. Now, crimes and criminals or the crimes in itself, no? Wala na dili na siya pariha bisag asa nga nasod. No, naay mga acts diri sa Pilipinas which we considered as crime, but in other countries dili siya considered as crime. Like for instance, in the Philippines, we have the so-called firearm law, a law that regulates the possession of firearms. In which case, og wala ang palit kag firearm diri, wala kay lisensya, then madakpan ka, that is considered as a crime, a violation of the special law, no? Pero in other countries, no, mura ka og nagpalit og pandisal. Imagine lang, bayad ka sa kwarta and then kuha ni mong firearm. You have the firearm. As easy as that, no? Pero diri sa Pilipinas, dili na siya pwede. No, in other countries, mupalit kag marijuana, mugamit kag marijuana for medicinal purposes, that's okay. There's no problem. But there is sa Pilipinas, if you possess, take note ha, caught in possession of a marijuana lang, you will be penalized. Because in the Philippines, possession of marijuana, as long as with any other regulated and prohibited drugs, is a crime. No? However, accordingly, criminology, considering that science is a systematic objective of social phenomenon, and we in criminology deals with the same thing. We deals with the problem of society, is crime as a social phenomenon. No, criminology is a science in itself, especially when this applies to law enforcement and preventions of crimes under, take note of this. One, criminology is an applied science. Why? In the study of the causes of crimes, we dealt with the principles of anthropology, the principles of psychology, the principles of sociology, and all other natural sciences. While in the detection of crime, we adopted the principles of chemistry, medicine, physics, mathematics, ballistics, polygraphy, legal medicine, question document examination, which we called as instrumentation. Another thing, criminology is a social science. Why? Inasmuch as we are dealing with crime, which is a social creation and existed in a society, therefore, we considered ourselves as a social scientist. This is part of social science. We study a particular occurrence in a society. No? That is part of social sciences. Criminology is also considered as dynamic. Why? Along with any other sciences, criminology is dynamic. Why? No? Criminology changes as the social condition changes as well. Even, take note, even with regards to dealing with crimes, because crime in itself, actually, from time to time, it changes. No? Before, like for instance, I will give you an example. In the Philippines before, if a minor committed a crime, the law will be imposed onto him. Pero karon, no, og ang nakakommit ganing crime bata, the law provides unsa tong edad, unsa nang gitawag og child, no? If a child commits a crime dere, wala siya gitawag og criminal liability. Why? Because that is what the professionals say. Kani daw mga bata daw, they do not appreciate the consequence, resulta sa ilang action. So therefore, kay wa man na sila kasabot unsay mahimong resulta ani, they should not be treated as a criminal. No? So the same as with our how the way we treat with offenders. Ang atong gitawag na to correction or penology. Because before, we considered them really as people nga dapat butang gyud tagaan og punishment. But now, we observe the so-called correction measures, rehabilitation. Meaning, we treat these people as patients. No? People who are sick that should be treated in order to cure their disease. That's how we deal with criminals. Another nature of criminology is nationalistic. Criminology is nationalistic. No? Since we are dealing with crime again, no? And crime relies on the law that is existing in the jurisdiction or the territory of our country. Therefore, criminology is nationalistic. Dili ka makaingon nga kani siya krimen diri sa Pilipinas, pag-abot nimo dito sa Indonesia, mao ra gyapon. Nga naman, Philippines and Indonesia have different definitions of what is crime. No? So that is what the natures of criminology are. No? Another question is, anong naa may krimen? When does a crime exist? Kano sa may tabo ang krimen? Now, there are 2 points of views with regards to the existence of crimes. The first is the so-called the legal point of view. Now, what the legal point of view says, crime exists when the person has been proven guilty by court or by the court. And take note, in the Philippines, proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. It means that a crime existed only once the person is found guilty by the court. But in the scientific point of view for criminologists, crime exists when it is reported. When someone reported, then we considered crime. Why? The intention of this definition is for us to look for a measure in order to prevent it from happening. That's the difference between the legal and the scientific point of view with regards to crime. No? Another thing that we need to consider, is crime, sin, and morality similar? The answer is no. First, we compare crime and sin. Now remember, crime is an act or omission against the penal law of a country, while sin is an act or omission against the divine law. Meaning, if we talk about divine law, sa atong mga Christian, it's actually the Bible which is our reference. Unsay balaod sa Ginoo. Ang crime balaod sa nasod. Now, if we talk about morality naman, no, we actually consider the so-called norms. Sa man ang norms, sir? Norms are actually the standards set by the people nga nauna na to, atong mga katiguangan. No, dili kay na siya una nakastrikto, no? Pero daghan kaayog bawal, no? So once gani you violated the norms, ang tawag din nila sa imuha immoral. So meaning the act nimo is an act of immorality. So once gani you committed a crime, ang tawag nimo criminal. No? Once gani you violated the divine law, no, particularly the 10 commandments, ang tawag nimo sinner. No? So, in the criminal law or in crime, once you are found guilty, the punishment is imposed samtang buhi pa ka. Imposed during the lifetime of a person. While for sinners, no, once you are found a sinner, Ano sa man nimo matagamtaman ng penalty? After life. That's what we Christians believe. No? Immorality naman, you will be condemned by the people. You will be branded as immoral. No? Himuon kang chismis. Himuon kang unod sa ilang chismis. No? Ano man, these are unwritten laws, manggod. No? There are tanawa ha kanang gitawag na to og immorality. If we talk about immorality, mag-differ na siya regionalistic or by region, by locality. No? Like for instance, Christians and Muslims. Sa Kristiyano, mugunit sa kamot sa babae, okay ra. But for Muslim, there are Muslims who are very strict. Strict to gina sila na. No? That's what their in the divine law nila, at the same time, sa ilahang gitawag og norms, ilahang gisunod. That is the form of tradition. Sa Kristiyano, wala man ng Kristiyano, wala man ni we no longer observe it. But before naana siya. No? So that's what this crime, sin, and morality are all about. Now, nganong kinahanglan man ta mo concern sa kanang gitawag og crime, sir? Okay, why must members of society be interested in crime? Why should I care, sir? No, anyway, di man ko biktima. Remember, crime is pervasive or pervasive. No? Wala ka kabalo karon, ugma, o basin sunod adlaw, you might become a victim of crimes. No? Crime or everybody can be a victim of crime. It affects us all. Tanan, regardless of pila edad, bata, tiguang, batanon, dalaga, everyone. Walay gipili nga sex. No? Gender, babae, lalaki, everyone. Bayot, tumboy, everyone. No? Bisan pa kag Amerikano ka, bisan pa ka og inche ka, no? Kaliwat kang Jitli, no? Kaliwat ka ni Mike Tyson, kay negro ka, no? You could become a victim of crime. No? Regardless of religion. Mayroon ka, ako sir, dili ko mo concern kay these people are my friends. No, regardless. Regardless yung kwartahan ka, you could become a victim of crime. Regardless kung nakay giskwelahan or wala kay giskwelahan. Meaning, everybody should be concerned with it. Another thing, crime is expensive. Remember, every year, the government spent an enormous amount of money just for the purpose of crime detection, prosecution, correction, and prevention. Even the private sector are actually spending lots of money para ana. Billions of money actually. No, kay nga naman og private sector ka, uy, sa man para di ko mabiktima og kanang hold up. So mag-hire ka og private security agency. Uy, sa man ako pagkabalo what is going on around in case na may tabo, mag-install kag CCTV camera. And you will install all other forms of security measures just to come up with a lig-on nga security. That is expensive. If crime will be reduced or at least malisten siya, then those money nga dapat gastuon ana could have been diverted to other services. Di ba? Another thing, crime is destructive. No? It will destroy your life. It will destroy the lives of the victim. No? Ang problema ra ba is kanang act of killing, act of stealing, this actually destroys the lives of the people. No, inakay kwarta gidala nimo kay ngano ibayad to nimo sa katong pagpaopera sa imong relative. And then on your way to the hospital, gi-hold up ka. Diba namatay ang katong relative nimo dapat operahan. Do you think it does not change anything on you? That's what crime is. It is destructive. It will change your life. Another thing, crime is reflective. Muy ka sir, ang amuang lugar is kuan man sir, peaceful man. We'll see, we'll try to check the crime rate and the crime incidence of your place. Oh, see? Kanong wala man kay mga businessman nga mosulod sa imong lugar nga imong lugar strategically located man, no? Nganong kaning and remember og walay businesses ang life sa mga tao ubos pod. Why? Because there is a problem with the social defenses employed. Taas ang crime rate. Kidnapon ka. Tulisun ka. Do you think people will still want to live in that kind of a place? Do you think businessman will invest money if they see that kind of a problem? That what crime is. It is a reflection of unsa nga klase na social defenses naa ang usa ka lugar. It is a reflective. It is a reflection of what life we could expect in a place. Another thing, no, dili ka moingon, ay sir ako sir, kwartahan na kay ko. I have all the bodyguards. Akong kuan high-tech na kay ni. Remember, crime is progressive. No? As time goes by, as the population grows, crime rate also increases. At the same time, the manner of how crimes are committed is also increasing. Unsay pud nag-improve pud sila. No? Who would think kanang ingon taay kani sir kay online banking safe ni siya. Oh, karon mas daghang kawat sa online banking. No? Because crime is progressing. It is also evolving the same as with any other kung nato. Ang mga kriminal nagka-improve, nagka-high-tech. No? So, basin pohon, maabot. No? Naa na po'y gitawag na to. Imaginary rape. Ambot lang. We do not know. That's not yet happening. But that is what crime is all about. I guess that is all, class. Again, katong akong gikuan sa inyo, you make a 3-minute video of yourself talking about the definition of criminology and send it directly to our GC. That's all. Thank you and good afternoon.